I was born in Miami, Florida, raised by my dad, who had only the help of Tati and Cuco, his parents. Cuco was a waiter and sindicalista, and Tati cleaned hotels and hospitals for a living. Neither spoke English. I have no idea which language I spoke first. With Tati and Cuco, puro español. With Dad, English only. For them, and even me, Miami was not exactly the Welcome to Miami Will Smith video, even if I was born there. In fact, in 1980, during the Maria boat lift, it was perfectly clear Cubans were not welcomed. I was only 6 and in kindergarten, and really had no idea what was going on. What I do remember is as a kid, Spanish, and especially translating for Tati, was totally embarrassing. I don't remember any specific instance in which I was told directly that Spanish or being Cuban was bad, but I knew it wasn't good. Being labeled a ref, that was to be avoided at all costs. In the 5th grade, we moved from middle-class Kendall to Hialeah, refugee city we used to call it, the hood. My grandmother would drive from Homestead to Hialeah every day to pick us up from school, 41 miles to, 41 miles back, in city traffic. In 7th grade, Tati got sick, and Dad moved them to Hialeah. One day in the 7th grade, my dad showed up at the bus stop, which he never did. Tati died. Cleaning those hospital rooms, she probably got hepatitis, and no one ever caught it. When she died, my Spanish pretty much did too. I knew more than ever I did not want to be a ref. When I went to school, I never studied, just played basketball and ran track, and still got good grades. I never spoke Spanish. When I went to college in North Carolina to play basketball, I was the only Latina on campus. I majored in PE, but took a Spanish class. I transferred to Alabama and got a job at McDonald's. The manager said, "You speak really good English." I never went back. Throughout junior high and high school, and my first 2 years of college, I hated to read with a passion, and pretty much didn't do it. Then at the University of South Alabama, I read La Muñeca Menor by Rosario Ferrer. For the first time, something reflected me, who I was, and it was in Spanish. I also started to become aware of my bad Spanish. In an essay, a white professor with a giant red pen wrote, "There is no possessive S in Spanish. If you do it again, te voy a reprobar." My Spanglish was just so offensive. Honestly, I had no idea what reprobar meant, that I knew it wasn't good. If she'd said fonquear, I would have been devastated. Nevertheless, I went to grad school, and I became even more conscious of my poor Spanish. I never even knew my Spanish was bad until I left Miami. At Oklahoma, I saw an opportunity to take a class in Santa Fe on Chicano literature. I really didn't know what that meant, but I knew I could get 3 credits with only a week of class. I asked my chair at Chicano. He said, yeah, but I have to clear it with the Spanish section. They said no, that it had nothing to do with Spanish. I was furious. The next semester, Denise Chavez was teaching a 2-week class on campus, and I was taking it. I didn't care. There's where I found myself. Myself for the first time on a written page. I was in shock. Sure, Fuentes, Marquez, Guillen, Poniatowska were great, but Denise, Sandra, Tato, and Anzaldúa, Spanglish? That was me. I graduated writing my dissertation on Spanglish and U.S. Latino literature. Eventually, I ended up at UTPA. 90% Chicano Latino, and I figured this was my place. My colleagues have gone so far as to ask my own students if I give the class in English or Spanish. Once a colleague stopped me in the middle of a meeting to point out, "Minutos? Eso es Spanglish." But no apologies, not anymore. Ya me puse brava. No sé si te has dado cuenta o no, pero aquí hablamos Spanglish, so vamos a revisar los minutos.